Hello and welcome to Bad Boy Cinema. I am your host, Rick Reel. With me today is my co-host,
Elliot Film.
Yep, that's who you are.
How
That's
are you,
your
Rick?
Government name. I'm great. Why are we turning the tables on me?
I'm just doing
I ask how you're doing. No one asks me how I'm doing.
Okay.
That's how I like it.
All right, then do your job.
I am. What are you?
Okay, well, how am I?
How are you?
I'm all right.
You're so annoying. We're having some cat fighting happening in the studio today.
I think the audience has heard the cat fighting.
So this episode is about the 2000 film Bedazzled, directed by Harold R., starring Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley, which is, we've done remakes on this show before, and this is also a remake of the 1967 British film of the same name.
Never seen it.
And I never will, because I saw this one, and this is the newer one, which makes it better one.
Better in every conceivable way.
Did you know that the director, Harold
R.
Ramis, Harold R.
Yeah.
He directed such films such as Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, just the regular one, Christmas Vacation, Groundhog Day. And he's written. Well, he was a writer on Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. He did not direct those.
True. He was in,
but he was involved in a lot of classic movies, and we talk about classic movies on the show. And Bedazzled is a classic mediocre movie. It's one of the big ones, but it's not the best.
Really
movie.
Knocks it out of the park as a 3-star film.
And it's a brisk hour and 30 minutes, and they don't really make movies like this anymore in general, but also movies that are just an hour and 30 minutes.
They don't make fun little romps,
It is a romp, and so what the core conceit of the movie is that Brendan Fraser's character, Elliot, with one T, not Elliot,
not me,
film with 2 T's. So
when I heard it in the movie, I was like, "Whoa, this movie's about me." It's not. So unfortunate.
You're not. You're not.
I am not literally Elliot.
Although when I was watching the movie, and this is going to mean nothing to most people, but our close personal friend Arthur. I found the voice cadence of Elliot in the movie similar. It was really evoking our friend Arthur for some reason. Just a little tip of the hat to a friend of the podcast, Arthur. The core conceit of the movie is that Brendan Fraser's character sucks and is really annoying, and the devil, played by Elizabeth Hurley, who
one of the all-time devils.
She one of the most devilish depictions of the devil in cinema. And so Elizabeth Hurley as the devil gives Brendan Fraser 7 wishes. Of course, none of the wishes go well. One of the wishes is, which I think, and I agree, it's litigated in the movie, but she's like, I can give you wishes. And he's like, I want a Big Mac and a large Coke, which was $3.50 at the time of the film.
Yeah.
Which that was egregious. That really hurt me personally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, that was probably the thing that impacted me the most, was how cheap a Big Mac and a Coke was in 2000. And boy, is this a 2000 ass film. But yeah,
Yeah.
all the wishes go bad, and the wishes end up, putting Brendan Fraser in funny little interesting vignettes, and that's kind of just, and then it kind of ends, and that's the movie.
Yeah. And that's great. You kind
And
of
it,
love
and it
that
really
for Brendan
does just
Fraser.
kind of end. He runs out of wishes, and they're like, "Well, time to wrap this up," and then
Yeah.
he ends up, spoilers for Bedazzled. He does not
He
end up
meets a girl.
devil, and then he gets a girl who's played by the same actress as the other girl he was interested in the entire film, which I didn't realize until reading the Wikipedia page.
Shout out Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
if
had
you
your
want to,
letterboxed review, right? You
yeah.
had that.
Um,
What are your thoughts? Plugging the Elliott Film Letterboxd here real quick.
yeah, shout out Letterboxd. So I reviewed this 3 stars, but I did give it a liked it. I'd like it.
It's fine. I throw it on the background for sure. But it's a 3-star,
Absolutely.
maybe 2.5-star movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I just said the costume designer put their whole Badussi into this film, and
I agree.
honestly, I would sell my soul to them for the privilege of watching Elizabeth Hurley look slick all day, as they say. I love the costume design in this film. They really nailed it. Not
Yeah.
just the devil, although she does
All
look
the
slick all day.
fun little outfits that they put Brendan Fraser in were all really good. And the makeup was also pretty
Yeah.
on point. It was,
Mhm.
believable, and the acting that Brendan Fraser had to pull off here. It's not the whale, but he had to do a whole lot of different characters because each of his wishes kind of would turn him into a, surface level different person, even if he was the same annoying guy in all of them. Which is maybe the point of the movie. And he kind of grows a little bit, and then he gets a girl because I guess God and the devil felt bad for him. I don't. I didn't really.
Yeah, there's, sometimes you just get the girl, I think is the moral of the story.
One door closes and another door opens, and it's the same person. It's kind of the vibe that I got.
It's interesting. Like on some level, you're like, you had a crush on this girl. This is a totally different woman who's played by the same actress. And he's like, yeah, good enough. And on some level, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But when you realize he's never spoken to the first girl, he's never had a conversation. So all he
they've
knows
just
is
like
what she looks
they've
like.
existed near each other for 4 years, and he's like never talked to her. He's like, I'm in love with this girl, which relatable.
So yeah, if that's all you know is just what she looks like, I guess it doesn't matter who it is as long as they look like that. Which is maybe not the best message to send, but it's Holly weird after all. Am I right?
So true.
Holly wild. Yeah, perfectly
This movie has
90-minute film.
It's got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got an average review of 5.5, and Metacritic has it at 49.
Look,
I
won't say this very often.
It's very in the middle.
I won't say this very often. All those film review websites, they got their finger on the pulse of the frickin' nation, dude.
Yeah, they know. They really nailed it. Everyone collectively has the
one.
right opinion about this movie.
Consistently, though, those websites are wrong, but in this case, you nailed it.
It is crazy to have so many stronger writing and directing credits, and then like late in your career, you just kind of like crap out Bedazzled, and it's fine. Like it's not, box office wise, the budget was 48 million. It made 90.3. It did fine, and obviously it was a cheap movie to make considering there was only like 10 actors in the movie and they just kept replaying different parts. So with each of the different, wish vignettes. Which was your favorite of the little wishes that he had? Not counting the 350 Big Mac. I'd be like, I wish
Well,
I had a Big Mac for 350.
yeah. Well, we can litigate that in a minute. But to answer your question, my favorite, I think my favorite Wish vignette was when he was the most sensitive man in the world.
He really looked like a completely different person in that one. And when he was the basketball guy,
Yeah.
I was like, is that Brendan Fraser? If I
With the
wasn't,
basketball guy, I was really interested, like how they made him sweat so much. How did they do that within the film? Because his hair didn't get wet. His hair was not. The microphone, I don't think got wet. It's just like him. It's like they gave him a sweat disorder for one scene in the movie and then cured him.
Well, let's see. The first wish was he's the Colombian drug lord, and
the first wish was the Big Mac and Coke.
Well, right, yes. Well, or was it? I think she made that wish for him before they made the deal, so I don't think that counted. And also, he paid for it.
Look, if you were just sitting around in your house and you're like, I wish I had a sandwich right now, and then somebody in your house, perhaps one of your cats, brings you a sandwich, you're not like, oh, that doesn't count. I could have done this myself, but you didn't.
Somebody else, he did do it. They went to the store, the McDonald's store,
but he was wishing for it, and he made no action until there was external enforcement.
My bigger issue is that this was before
it was
the
not
contract
within the
was
contract.
signed.
Yeah.
So I think it was even if it was if you want to litigate if it counts as a
I haven't personally read the fine print of the contract.
It was very long.
It was very long. So, it may have said, including previous wishes granted by the same individual, the devil.
Yeah.
Unknown, to be honest.
But anyway, so there's the Big Mac wish. Maybe it counts, maybe it doesn't. Then he's the Colombian drug lord, and the downside is that he's cucked. Then he's the most sensitive man in the world. Which is fine.
Just deal with it, dude. She doesn't love you. You didn't say that part. You're married.
Marriage doesn't mean love. Then when he's the most sensitive man in the world, the downside is that he's the most sensitive man in the world and is also cucked. And she still loves him, but not like.
She was like, "Oh, he's so sweet," but I'm not gonna go home with him.
Yeah.
This motherfucker cried at the same sunset 3 times.
And then was it basketball after that?
Yeah, because he was like, I don't want to be sensitive anymore. I want to be tough and strong.
Yeah,
rich.
And rich. And so he's this incredibly mentally not the sharpest basketball player, and is very talented, but his wiener is small. So that's
true.
That's no good. And the love interest just laughs at him and leaves. I like that. It's is the love interest just actually a bad person that he's just been
absolutely
onto?
Absolutely.
And then the next wish, he's a very suave, charming, handsome guy, classy guy. But the downside, and I'm using it with the framing of the movie, not my own personal beliefs, is that he's gay. So he still, he brings her home and he's like, I'm not gay, because it's his boyfriend or whatever is there, and then he kisses the love interest, and he's like, oh, never mind, see ya. And then he wishes to be the president.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite gag in the whole movie, because he becomes president, immediately realizes that he's Abraham Lincoln and that he's about to see a play. And he's like, God damn it.
She got me. I didn't specify.
I think that was 6, including the Big Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the seventh wish, he just wishes for,
Everyone to be
after
happy.
talking to God in prison.
Yeah. He just wishes for the love interest to be happy or something.
Yeah, something stupid like that, which is a loophole, gets him out of the contracts for selling his soul, and then he's fine. And then he meets a girl who looks exactly like the love interest, although I didn't clock that
Yeah.
immediately or at all. And then the movie ends. Yeah, it's fine. And we talk about older movies on this podcast, right? Talk about older movies, and we usually say, "Wow, they've aged pretty well," or "Wow, this is still enjoyable." That even though this is a bit of an artifact, still enjoyable in the current era. The Bedazzled, very dated, in my opinion, incredibly dated. The humor's dated. The jokes, well, which is the humor, is dated. So the devil's supposed to be like hot, but it's a very like 2000s hot.
I think she's smoking, to be honest.
I
think that they nailed the costuming. I mean, this movie.
I did not get anything from it. I was like, okay, she's.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think some of the gags are definitely not what you would do today if they were to remake Bedazzled again.
Yeah, the movie is like slightly racist.
Yeah,
not in a good way. None of the ways would be good. But
it's just good to specify.
It's just good to specify. Yeah. It's dated in that sense. Again, I mean, you disagreed, but I was like, this is a very 2000 idea of what like a hot girl devil.
I think that's. I'm not disagreeing. I just think that I have 2000 brain.
And you do. We know,
and that's futuristic from my point of view.
Right, because we were frozen for so long.
Yeah.
Even her being British, like, I was just like, yeah, this is old. I don't know. If they were to remake this movie, like,
what ethnicity would she be if they made it today?
She would definitely be either some ambiguously brown ethnicity or like someone who's like half white, half black, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know her name. I'm gonna find out her name, and then I'm gonna tell you who it is. Who I like?
They would make like I don't know. I don't know who they would make, but it would not be a rail thin British lady. That's not who they would pick in. They'd be right to do that.
I'm gonna tell you who I would cast. It's Vella Lovell.
Who's Vella Lovell?
Vella. Love LL. It's like Love 2.
Love 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's folks at home. Look it up.
They'd have like Jamila Jamil. If they wanted to keep the British thing, they'd get like Jamila Jamil to be the devil. But she'd be really annoying. Yeah. Although I thought this devil was, I don't know. I wasn't sold on the devil. I think that impacted the enjoyment of the film. But if I was like a 40-year-old dad in 2000 watching this movie, I'd be like, I'm into the devil. I'm sold on this this hot devil lady. But I was just like, I'm too modern sensibilities.
I'm a big fan of Elizabeth Hurley.
Really? I was like, I had no idea what she was in prior to this.
She was in Austin Powers 1.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Oh, we gotta. I mean, we're not gonna do an episode on it probably, but you gotta watch it. I mean, what can we say about Austin Powers that hasn't been said already?
True, because people are talking about. Well, we could watch. I mean, she's also in Phoenix Wilder and the Great Elephant Adventure, which I don't think anyone has talked about.
Yeah, that's one of those
they don't even have box office number on this, or anything at all on the Wikipedia page. There's no reception. It was just released in 2017 and then on DVD in 2018. And they don't have no reviews, nothing about Phoenix Wilder and the Great Elephant Adventure.
That's great to hear. Honestly, will be groundbreaking. I mean, the people they're probably begging for the content on this.
Yeah. She didn't really, I think Bedazzled might have ruined her career based on just looking at Wikipedia and not having seen any other movie that she's been in other than Bedazzled. Okay. I think it might have tanked her career.
I'm looking it up. They changed the name of the movie. So maybe that's
Phoenix Wilder and the Great Elephant Adventure? What is it called now?
It's just An Elephant's Journey. You don't get to meet the character until you're in the film, and that's, I guess they were worried about spoilers.
Yeah, they don't want you to know that
this is the movie with Phoenix Wilder in it, right? Yeah.
An Elephant's Journey.
It's $1 on Apple TV, so
to just own it or to rent it?
To rent it. It's $4.
I was owning it, I'd be like, shit. I
mean, it's $2 to own it.
That's $2 Canadian, so that's bad.
Yeah.
Because I assume just everything up there costs double here. So $2 of your dollars is one of mine.
Absolutely true.
Although we are in the same studio, it's just we're right on the line.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different doors, so you come in from the Canadian side, I come in from the American side, and record right on the line. It's very the set design here in the Bad Boy Cinema studio is really something I wish you guys could see. Maybe one day we'll do video episodes, but
the costume design goes crazy, but since we're not filming, I don't wear them.
Yeah. And the producers get really upset about that, but what can you do, right? Elephant's Journey, it has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, so maybe we don't see it.
Maybe we skip that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. What other thoughts do you have on Bedazzled?
Bedazzled.
I did like some of the gags.
The Abe Lincoln, the entire Abe Lincoln sequence, I thought was very funny because it's what the joke is as soon as you get into it, but it's I wish the whole movie was as good as that chunk.
Yeah.
And then also I did also like when he was the most sensitive man in the world, but that's such a very early 2000s character archetype. Aesthetically,
that character would be very different today.
Yeah, and I think the younger fans of this show, I don't think they would really understand that. They haven't been around as long as we have. They wouldn't get it, and that's fine. They're not really missing much, honestly. But
yeah. I mean,
do you think the movie wanted you to feel bad for Elliot? Because I did not feel bad for him. I was I know this guy.
I was going to say it's very hard to tell because they do really focus on making you hate him for 10 straight minutes.
Yeah. The opening, 10, 15 minutes of the movie is just he's the worst person you've ever met. He's so annoying. He's not doing anything wrong.
Illegal.
Or even bad, moral, he's not doing anything, he's just annoying. He's just really annoying. And they really nailed
doing that for 10 minutes. And then he's like, I could have anything in the world. Let me force a woman to be my wife and also have all the power and influence.
And the movie tries, I think, to try and in between each of his wishes, I think there's usually a small in between connecting scene that shows that he's a little less annoying, but then he just makes an even stupider wish or an even more so more selfish wish, and then you know.
I think his problem, and you know, to break the bit a little bit, when I saw this movie growing up, my problem was you have 7 wishes. Don't put them all into one.
Yeah.
Don't make your entire life a single wish. You know, do one
Yeah.
wish. Like, I wish that I had, you know, $100 deposited into my bank account untraceably from each of the 100 richest billionaires on earth, disguised through various small transactions. That's it. That's the wish. And then your second wish is like, I wish that I wrote a book that sold 8 million copies because it's so well loved and I am smart enough to write books. Spread it out.
Yeah.
Do a
Well,
little
but
communism
the
with
end
your
of the
wishes.
movie, because he's like, I don't want the last wish because like these are all not going well. I'm going to be the president, but you're going to make me the one that gets assassinated. So like, I don't know about that. Um, like he's just like, I don't want to really like do anymore. And the devil's like, no, you got to do it. And not only you have to do it, you have to make your wish like soon. And I was like, well, you're just trying to like wrap up the movie. Cause I think the logical conclusion is that he's just like, I'm done. You know, like I'm not fucking wishing for anything anymore. This sucks.
Yeah.
And I think that should have been like, he should have been able to live until he's like 80 with one wish in the tank, and she just has to deal with it. But I didn't read the contract.
Devil care?
What does the devil care? I mean, time to the devil has got to be just meaningless, right?
Yeah.
You're the devil.
And then, you know, when you're 80, you're like, I wish I was 27 again. And then, like, you're fine.
You know what this movie reminded me of? As like a worse version of a, you know, a movie that people like.
I can't think of it.
Click.
Yep.
Kind of had huge Click vibes, but like Click's a good movie.
Does have huge Click vibes.
We should do Click on this show.
Sure.
Yeah. We can do like a, you know, some Adam Sandler as like as a subject for a month, right? We can do Sandler month, you know, get some Sandler movies. Some classic films. Sandler month might kind of go off, you know. We could
I've fallen off on my Sandler watching post Click.
Yeah. Click really is a good. It is the same idea basically as this movie.
Yeah.
But better, and almost really every other than costume design.
Costume design does not hit.
No. I mean, it's not bad. It's just you know, it's fine. It's not doing anything special. It's not trying to. But Bedazzled, at least, you know, they spent some of that $40 million on the costume design, and it shows.
It absolutely does. Would you think that Bedazzled would be better if it starred Adam Sandler? Adam Sandler being Abe Lincoln, would that
I think it would be funnier, but I think I would hate the ending more because I would find, because Brendan Fraser, you wanna root for him even if he is the most annoying guy on the planet.
Yeah.
So the ending, you're like, that's nice, I guess. But if it was Adam Sandler, I'd be like, it's like if Uncut Gems had a good ending.
Yeah.
Is probably kind of what I would feel with Bedazzled. I would find it very tonally off.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot funnier, even if everything else was exactly the same.
Yeah. What about if Click starred Brendan Fraser?
See, I think that would also be fine. Honestly,
I think it would be fine.
It might even be an improvement. Brendan Fraser. Yeah. What did he do after he did? Well, you know, didn't do a whole lot after this for some reasons, but
he was caught shoplifting, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because he was doing a whole lot of stuff early on in his career, and just sort of, and then stop being in things, which is fine.
That's his right.
He was in a few very good episodes of Scrubs, if you would recall.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, the Brendan Fraser episodes of Scrubs are like all-time bangers. You know, The Whale.
That's fair.
What is the plot of The Whale? He was in Killers of the Flower Moon as well, but he was kind of wailing out in that as well.
I did like Looney Tunes Back in Action. I thought he kind of nailed it.
Yeah. He was in The Nut Job. 2014's The Nut Job.
I have not seen it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did like Dickie Roberts' Former Child Star. I think that's a good film. I don't remember him in it. I guess he has a cameo.
The Mummy, Tomb of
the
Dragon
I think
Emperor.
his best film, now that I'm looking, now you may disagree, I think his best film is Blast from the Past.
I don't think I've seen Blast from the Past.
Oh, we got to do Blast from the Past.
Yeah, got to do Brendan Fraser month as well, and then compare it to the Adam Sandler month, and then really get to the bottom of
back to back.
Yeah, that could be fine.
This could be the start of Brendan Fraser month if you want.
Well, the chronology of the recording of these episodes makes that very confusing for me. So,
yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Need to do a little Christopher N. Playing with time.
I really hope we can get to Inception on this. God, yeah, I love that movie. It's a classic. It's a classic movie, and I think gets scoffed at and also praised by for the wrong reasons by different groups. Like they're both wrong, even if they have opposite opinions.
Yeah, having the right opinion for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
it's just as bad as having the wrong opinion.
Can you have the wrong opinion for the right reasons?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I wish there was more to say about Bedazzled, but it's just fine.
Yeah. Would you recommend people watch it? I would recommend people put it on in the background.
If it was on TV already, you're scrolling through the TV, cable, which as I hear,
people
very outdated. Well, if it was on TV and it was on, I'd throw it on in the background and then tune in for the funny vignettes and because at least for me as a kid, this was on in the background while my parents were actively watching it. And I was playing with Legos or whatever. And I distinctly remember the Colombian drug lord and the most sensitive man in the world. Like those are seared into my mind.
Yeah, shout out the most sensitive man in the world.
Most sensitive man in the world. That was pretty good. It's fine. I mean, if it's on, I'd watch it, but I wouldn't go out of your way to. Because unfortunately, it's not very interesting. It's moderately funny. It's mildly offensive.
You kind of know what's gonna happen the whole time.
Yeah,
I think if you've seen 30 minutes of this film, which is a third of it, to be fair, you have a better idea of what's going to happen the rest of the movie than they did while they made
it. Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense because they figured out the movie by the time you're watching it. And this might be a hot take, but one of my favorite fictional depictions of God might be this in this movie.
Interesting.
I was like, this God, he seems like a really chill hang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, way better than like Bruce Almighty God. You know what I mean?
He was a lot.
I can't really think. He was a lot. I can't really think of other.
Steve Buscemi in Miracle Workers.
Didn't see it.
You don't need to, actually. It stars Daniel Radcliffe. It's a TV show starring Daniel Radcliffe, where he plays an angel.
Yeah.
Cool show. Good idea. Horrible writing. It's like
Yeah.
if the writers of Bedazzled tried to make like The Good Place meets Parks and Rec.
The good place already is The Good Place meets Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
That's like the point of the show.
I haven't seen it. I've seen parts.
It's very
Um,
it's very weird. And I think maybe why I like Bedazzled a little bit now and movies of its kind of comedic stylings, you might say, is that it is at least a sharp contrast to a lot of the like the shows that are listed as comedies but are not funny. They're just kind of like nice.
yeah.
Not that this is a show, it's a movie, but like watching a movie that is just trying to be funny and is not interested in being nice. It has a nice ending, but the movie itself is like kind of, I wouldn't say mean spirited, but
Yeah.
it's a little, you know.
They poke fun at certain stereotypes.
It's at least
Like,
refreshing. I like a little mean spiritedness, you know.
yeah. It is, it's filmed in places.
It is certainly filmed in places, which I mean, they're not making movies like that anymore.
Yeah. I wonder what's going on with like location scouts. Are you okay? Do you have job security?
I think all the locations have been scouted. It's probably just like
Millennials are ruining location scouting business. Yeah, like I don't know. It's fun. I just think it's fun. I think if you have nothing to do, you could watch this.
You're not going to have a bad time. You're not going to have a bad time.
You could sit down and actively watch this if you're not doing anything else. But if you're like, I could scroll on TikTok for a bit, you're fine.
That's also a good way of watching it too.
Yeah, this movie's probably on TikTok. Yeah, perfectly serviceable film. It's got some fun moments. They do, as an evil devil twist, make someone gay.
But and you phrase it like that, and it makes it sound offensive. But like the way it's actually handled is like
it's not that offensive.
It's not that. It's not. It's like kind of tasteful for 2000. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not dropping any slurs in this movie that I recall. They're doing fine. And he's not like that upset that he's gay. He does completely erase his wish and make another one, but he's not that upset.
His life is great, but
yeah,
since he can't get the girl because he is gay, I guess that's not it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's saying,
like that. That's not great.
It's like gay people can't have love or be happy. But I think that's an Elliot Richards issue where he can't find love or be happy because he's broken.
Because he's just projected his wife's desires onto a person who has never talked to him and
doesn't like him.
Yeah. Although he was so annoying though, but his coworkers were like unnecessarily mean to him as well. Right?
Nah. I don't know that they were even that mean to him. They're just like, no, we're not hanging out tonight. Because he was really forcing himself into a hangout.
Maybe.
The coworkers just get along with everybody else except him.
They're kind of razzing him a little bit. They were kind of giving him shit for liking a girl.
That's true.
But he was doing it in kind of like a loser way. So I don't know. Like if they were actually his friends, like the razzing would make sense. But they're people who are established who don't like him. So I'm like, it feels mean. Whereas if your friends saying the same stuff, I'd be like, it's fine,
Yeah. There needs to have a good nature underneath. And there isn't. And that's Elliot's fault.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Bedazzled.
I didn't feel bad for him, which made the ending not feel sweet to me. I guess it was
Yeah.
supposed to be, but I was like, I don't care if this guy's happy. This guy sucks.
Really, the core failing of the movie is that it might be a little too mean spirited for its own good.
Yeah, but a little bit is nice.
Yeah. And that's Bedazzled.
That's Bedazzled.
And check it out if you want. It's fine.
Check it out in the future. Check out a different Brendan Fraser film, maybe.
Yeah. Did you like this more or less than Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Because I believe that would be our most mid movie.
Yeah. I would say that this is, I don't know. I think I liked it more.
It's funnier.
But it's very close.
Yeah, it's just like it's funnier, but a lot more dated. Whereas like I think if I was actively watching something, I'd want to watch Bedazzled. If I was watching something while scrolling, I think Mr. and Mrs. Smith is better.
Yeah.
But it is close. They're both not the best movies.
Yeah. And that's fine. Look, movie studios, you got to learn from this. Don't only make blockbusters. You can't just keep making blockbusters. It's crazy.
You got to make some dumb movies that make their budget back double. Like
in the year 2000, there was one, maybe two blockbusters a summer. Now you're doing like 3 a freaking weekend. No one, especially now, no one's going to the movies that much. You can't be like, oh, nobody saw The Flash and it had a $150 million budget. Yeah, it's because everybody saw Oppenheimer and Barbie the weekend before or whatever. Stop. Make a $40 million Brendan Fraser vehicle.
Make The Whale 2.
Make The Whale, but he's skinny. See what that is.
Make a Click remake starring Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, absolutely. Do like the de-aging you did in The Irishman. Not that he needs it. Just do it anyway.
Turn him into a baby like in those weird commercials.
Yeah. Also, movie studios, I know you're listening. Bob Iger, I know you're here. Release, I know Bob Iger's not responsible for this, but you know the people. You have the contacts. Release Coyote versus Acme. That's my call to arms.
I would love to do Coyote versus Acme episode of this. So,
well, they're not putting the movie out, so
fans, do a petition on change.org or whatever.
Yeah. Make Joseph Biden discuss this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love Coyote versus Acme. Apparently it's very good. But no one will ever see it. And they're gonna burn all recordings of it. So we may have to
put it on YouTube and just get 10 cents of ad revenue.
Because they're using it as a tax write-off. If they scrap it and nobody sees it, they get like $30 million in tax breaks. But then they're like,
scrap it, but like not actually, and then release it later.
Yeah, just scrap it, and you're like, no, actually, it's fine. It's Hollywood accounting, baby. Do whatever you want. So we might have to do Looney Tunes back in action. I don't think we'll do Roger Rabbit. We could do Looney Tunes back in action. We could do Space Jam.
Looney Tunes. I've never seen Space Jam.
You've never seen Space Jam, the original?
Never. Mm-mm.
Oh, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
You would like it if you saw it as a child, but you're not.
Yeah, no, I think if I saw it when I was 6, I'd be like, yeah, but.
Yeah, you'd have nostalgia for it now. You'd be like, there's charm here. we're gonna do it.
Watch movies I never saw as a kid that are no longer.
Stuart Little 2. Ever seen it?
No.
Like Mike.
So.
Ever seen it? It's got Lil Bow Wow and Jesse Plemons.
Jesse Plemons was in things before Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you Like Mike with Lil Bow Wow and Crispin Glover and Jonathan Lipnicki. What a star-studded cast, honestly.
Lipnicki might be one of the greats.
I want Jonathan Lipnicki as an adult to play Dade Murphy in Hackers.
Mm-hmm. I know you really like Hackers.
I watched Hackers last night.
Yeah.
Honestly, truthfully, this is not a bit. I think it's my favorite movie. And if they were to remake it, I want adult Jonathan Lipnicki playing the lead character. He's I don't know. I think he's living off his Stuart Little money. His Jerry Maguire.
He looks totally different.
He does.
Makes sense. I just assumed he would be that same kid, but
it was same haircut, same glasses, same teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
He's in stuff. No, he does things.
Does he?
A lot of them don't have blue text on Wikipedia, but
yeah. Okay, what's John L up to?
He's got something coming out this year. He was the worst cooks in America in the Celebrity Edition in 2019.
This has got to be the worst ratio of blue links on Wikipedia I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, it's not great. Really fell off after Stuart Little 2, it looks like.
Yeah. Then, that's your fault. All right. Let's wrap up Bedazzled. Thanks for listening. Email us at badboycinemafanmail@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Bedazzled. And if you haven't seen it, go see it and then let us know. Let us know if it's anything different than 3 stars.
Did we miss something?
Are there Easter eggs in this film? Like
beyond the tip of the hat to you by naming the character Elliot, just with minus the T, just so it's not too obvious. But
yeah, like can I copy your homework or just change it up a little bit so they can't tell?
Yeah, that's what they did.
In the beginning of the film, Elizabeth Hurley, before we know she's the devil, is playing pool. Let me know if she's hitting the 6 ball 3 times. I didn't investigate that, but I'm thinking about it. They probably did that bit. They probably love doing little cheeky things. Surprised the Big Mac didn't cost $6.66. Anyway, send us an email. It does now. Send us an email. Whoa, crazy. Let us know what movies you think we should cover for Adam Sandler month, Brendan Fraser month. I don't know.
Any other months?
Looney Tunes month. We'll do a Looney Tunes month one day. Sure, why not? I'm lying, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's the episode.
Goodbye.